Hey, it's Great and Ursula here. I just finished reading this book. It's called No BS Guide to Maximum Referrals and Customer Retention. And it's written by a guy named Dan Kennedy, as well as a couple other guest authors. But if you haven't heard of Dan Kennedy before, he's an absolute marketing legend, especially in the space of direct response marketing. And if you're looking to learn some just really solid foundational marketing principles that won't change with time and will always be relevant, then Dan Kennedy's the guy to pay attention to. So I highly recommend reading any of his books. But the reason I want to make this video today is because, as a business owners, you're bombarded with all these shiny objects on a daily basis, right? New procedures, new technologies, new tools, new strategies, new hacks. And it's just really useful to have some foundational marketing knowledge to sort of discern what you should pay attention to and what you should ignore. And one of those shiny objects is anything that's promised to get you new customers, right? And although getting new customers is great, you need new patients and customers to grow your business. It's a very expensive way to grow your business. It even says on the back of this book, fact, nothing is costlier or more difficult than getting a new customer. And this isn't only true now, it will only become truer in the future because the medical aesthetic space is getting more crowded, more competitors entering the marketplace, more choice for consumers. In the digital marketing space, there's more large companies spending a ton of money on platforms like Facebook and Google. So digital marketing ad costs are going up. It's just going to get continuously more expensive to acquire a customer. And one of Dan Kennedy's most famous sayings is, he who can spend the most to acquire a customer wins. It's really that simple. As we move into the future, the businesses that are really going to thrive and have a lot of power in the marketplace are the ones that are the most willing and able to pay that increasing premium to acquire more customers. And here's where it gets really interesting. The willingness to pay a lot of money to acquire a new customer is a direct result of knowing with confidence that that customer is worth more to you than to anyone else. And here's an example of this. Say you have two clinics. There's Clinic A and there's Clinic B. Clinic A knows with confidence that when they acquire a new patient, that patient's worth $5,000 to them over the course of that patient's lifetime, on average. And then you have patient B, who doesn't really know how much a new patient's worth to them. So they just sort of estimate and they don't want to highball it. So they say a new patient might be worth $3,000 to them. Which business is going to be more willing and able to not only spend more money on marketing and advertising, but also more willing and able to invest in their staff and their facility and in just generally providing a great patient experience so that patient stays with them and doesn't go anywhere else? The answer is obvious. It's Clinic A. They know the value of their patients, and as a result, they can confidently invest in acquiring them. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can be Clinic A and how you can really win and thrive in this increasingly competitive marketplace as it gets more and more expensive to stay in business. And I'm going to show you 3 attributes that your clinic needs to have in order to really thrive, build a great business that pays your employees well, and ultimately gives you a really great lifestyle as well. So the first attribute that you need to have in order to win, is you need to know your lifetime value of new patients. So this might be a bit hard to see. And you just seen it in the example I gave you here. The clinic that didn't know their lifetime value with confidence, they didn't have the confidence to invest in acquiring new patients. So this is the first thing that you need to determine in your business. And there's multiple ways to arrive at this figure. There's multiple ways to calculate lifetime value. And I'm not going to go into that in detail in this video, but even just becoming more aware of the long-term lifetime value of your patients will in itself help you, because you're going to have more confidence to invest up front in acquiring these patients. So before you do anything else, you need to spend some time to figure out this figure. The second attribute you need to have is you need to know how much it costs to acquire new patients. So you need to know your customer acquisition cost, or CAC. And once you know these two figures, you're going to be ahead of 90% of other businesses out there. Because the majority of businesses, they don't know how much a customer is worth to them, and they also don't know how much it costs to acquire one of those customers. And as a result, they see marketing and advertising as more of a fixed expense rather than an investment that yields a predictable return. Like a typical example would be a business, they budget $2,000 a month for marketing, and that's kind of it, because they don't really know if that marketing is generating them a return, and so they just see it as a fixed expense rather than an investment. But let's say you know that your customer lifetime value is $5,000 and your cost to acquire a customer is $200. Do you think you're going to stop marketing and advertising after you spent $2,000 and acquired 10 customers? You're probably not going to stop, because why not just spend more money? Why not just double your advertising spend to $4,000 and get 20 new customers? Because you know that every time you spend $200, it's going to turn into $5,000. So just by knowing these two numbers, you can then view your marketing and advertising as an investment. And that's how you really start to confidently grow and scale your business. So just knowing these two numbers alone, it's going to put you head and shoulders above everyone else. So the third attribute you need to have in order to win is you need to be obsessively focused on increasing the lifetime value of your customers. Now, there's plenty of ways in which you can increase your lifetime value of your patients, and I won't get to them all in this video, but I will say that increasing the lifetime value is a direct result of increasing the value that you deliver to your patients. Because the more value you deliver to patients, the happier they're going to be, the more they're going to spend with you, the more they're going to refer their friends, and the longer they're going to stay with you as well. And this is why companies like Amazon have an absolute chokehold on so many different industries. They're so customer obsessed, they're so customer centric, they invest so much into maximizing the value of their service that if you've spent money with Amazon, you'll probably spend money with them for the indefinite future, because they have the best selection, they deliver the fastest, and they're the cheapest as well. And if you've ever interacted with Amazon customer service, it's incredible, which is pretty uncommon for a company that size. So it's pretty simple. Maximize the value you deliver to customers, which will in turn maximize their value to you, which will then in turn make you more equipped to spend the increasing cost of acquiring new customers. So there's a direct relationship here between how much your customers are worth to you and how much you can afford to spend to acquire new ones. But here's the problem. As a business owner and a human being in general, it's sort of in your nature to ignore and take what you already have for granted and pay attention to the new and exciting. And the problem with that is, if you fail to deliver more value to your existing patients, those patients in turn aren't going to be as happy. And as a result of that, their lifetime value will go down. And as a result of that, you'll have less money to spend on acquiring new patients, which was the thing that you were focused on in the first place. And you can see how this becomes a negative feedback loop. Because if you're only focused on new customers, new patients, and you neglect your existing ones, you'll have less and less money to spend to acquire those new patients. And eventually you'll just go out of business. So the question now becomes, how do you acquire the confidence to invest into your existing patients? How do you know that you can afford to spend money on them? And the answer is really simple. You just need to know these two numbers. Oh, my marker is kind of messing up here. You just need to know these two numbers. Because if you know that when you spend $200, it turns into $5,000, you know how much you have left over to then invest into ensuring that patient stays with you for a long time and spends a lot of money with you. And that creates a positive feedback loop. So the more you invest into your existing patients, the more valuable they are to you, which then in turn allows you to pay this increasing cost of customer acquisition. And that's how you really thrive in a competitive marketplace. And that's how you build a business that's going to have a lot of longevity and last for a really long time. And so that's it for this video. I know it was sort of high level. I didn't really get into detail about how you can actually determine these numbers in your business. But the good news is I just created a new case study video which shows you the exact 3-phase system that we've created for our clients that allows them to market and advertise their business in a way which is totally trackable. We help them figure out this number and how much it costs them to acquire a new patient. So they know their numbers down to the dollar and the day and can, as a result, confidently invest into maximizing the value they deliver to their customers. So if you're interested in learning more about this system that we've created for our clients, just click the link below. If you're on YouTube, that will take you to my website. Or if you're already on my website, you can just click the box to the right there, and that will take you straight to that video where you can learn about exactly how we create results for our clients and how we help them succeed and create long-term success for them. All right, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.